I can
Yeah,
hear you, D.
Coach, what are your plans for the bye week here as you all try to assess what happened in Denver and move forward?
Well, we did the assessment in Denver today, and we got our butts kicked, D-Led. So we able to come to grips with that in reality, with all that type of stuff and the stuff that we need to do to get better, to moving forward. We got to reset ourselves and get healthier, get our guys back to come back off the injury reserve and get those guys back to be able to come to form so when we get back, we're ready to go full speed. Obviously, as a coach's standpoint, we're going to evaluate everything that we do from special teams. You're going to evaluate everything that you do from offense, defense, across the board, like you do pretty much weekly. But you get the last one from our last mini buy, kind of in a combination type of thing in a packet where you can look at it from our Thursday night game we had versus Tampa up until this point. So you can kind of see the different blocks of the season and things that you want to look at and how you want to look at those things, whether it be improvements or things that you need to improve or things you want to improve on, all those type of things and things that you can get motivated on to do as far as that. Get those packets, be able to look at them. Also, get away, give these guys a chance to get away and get with their families, to be able to spend some quality time with those guys and to be able to get back in, have some nice energy, some new energy to finish these last six. Big games coming up. Everything's still right in front of us, and I think that's like the most important thing for everybody to know.
Yeah, just follow up, Coach. Who are you hoping or anticipating getting back from Troy? Well, Dahlman's back. I mean, getting him in the lineup.
Yes.
Mike Hughes, and then D. Offord, and then it's Hallam's close to injury return type of situation.
Yes, all the guys you named, particularly Dahlman, getting him back into that starting rotation and getting him back out there with his guys, getting him going. Obviously, Helms potentially coming back at some point, getting him back off the IR, some of that status, things of that nature. Not sure exactly when, but knowing he has the opportunity to get back, knowing Rook has a chance to come back. Not he got to get those fourth games, so not expecting him back to LA, but certainly some point after that. Really getting a feel for those type of things, and then get some of our guys healthy. Getting our receivers back healthy, getting Mooney up fresh, getting all those guys healthy, getting Kurt fresh, all those guys healthy. Those guys need a little time off. It's always like that in the National Football League when you play 11 straight weeks of big time football, which these guys have played. Obviously yesterday was disappointing, but I don't want that to go by the wayside. That these guys have been playing some big time football and have some good moments this year, and some really good moments for all of us, to be honest.
Thank you.
For Mark Zeno with stats.
Don't let him get you going, Mark.
That's okay. Look, I know you're not a fan of the term fast start, and I'm not even talking about offense. I mean, the start on defense, other than the 3 and out, they scored touchdowns on their first 5 drives.
100%.
Does it feel? It looked from the outside like you just. I hate using the word unprepared, but it just feels like they had a game plan that you guys were not able to stop in any size, way, shape, or form. I mean, they're touchdown, 9 plays, 70 yards, 9 plays, 77 yards, 10 plays, 7. These are monster drives where they basically were able to move the ball at will. Were they doing something that you weren't ready for? Was there something that you just overlooked? Because it felt unprepared, defensively at least.
No, Mark. So like the first drive, we came out, the first play, knocked it out. Second play, knocked it out. Got into a 3rd and 10 immediately. And had a great situation and couldn't get off on that first third down and 10 of the game. And that was critical and that was crucial. That allowed them to continue to drive and go down and score in the red zone where they had a pretty good play that I thought was one of their better plays of the day. They scored on that play. The next couple of drives, they were able to go down there and continue to ball and move. And really, the quarterback played really well, played lights out. We talked about eliminate completions, and we're not able to do that. We talked about stopping the run game. We went out there and stopped the run game, but he was able to split the easy completions out there and allow those guys to run. We took away a lot of the shot plays that they had designed to go downfield. And he did a nice job of progressing and getting to check downs and getting to the proper place where it needed to go. The quarterback played extremely well. And I would have been very proud of him if that was my quarterback, the way he played yesterday. Played flawless football. He played extremely well. And there's some things that we got to do better as well, too. So, like, to say that we were unprepared in those moments, no, that would be fair assessment by you. And I'll take that, me first and foremost, on the chin. But I think we can play better. I know we can play better. We won't make excuses about who wasn't out there. We got to do a better job of going out there and executing whoever's out there.
To a quick follow-up, just when you talk about the bye week and fixing things, what is tangible that you can fix going forward? I know it's only an extra week. I mean, you just talk about playing better, but what is it? Scheme? Is it, just doing things differently? How do you fix those things in a bye week?
I think it's a little bit of all of it. Some of it's scheme. Some of us putting players in different positions, some of us doing different things across the board. I think everything that you're talking about when it comes to football will be thought about and will be potentially applied to us going out to the next outing. So like whatever it takes to win football games, what we're willing to do. And I know my guys upstairs and my guys on this football team are willing to do all those things. So like I got a lot of confidence in all those things, Mark, and those are all fair evaluations and fair assessments by you. Don't feel bad for asking. Don't feel bad for talking about it. And like that's something that you got to be able to deal with in this business, and that's what we look forward to doing.
Go to Tori McElhaney next.
Yeah, just going off of what Zeno was asking, and I'm curious from a strategic standpoint as a coach, what is the strategy for prioritization of fixing issues? Like when you go into this week and you have kind of a wide span of issues that you want to look at or things you want to fix, what goes into the priority buckets for you?
I don't think it's really a priority bucket. I think you just kind of walk through, each phase of each game, right? You walk through all the phases in the game. And the way I like to term it, Tori, is really like rundowns. What is rundowns? Like normal D&D, 1st and 10, 2nd and 1 through 6. Then you want to get back on track downs, talk about 2nd and 7+ and how you want to affect the passer, do some of the different things there and what that looked like. Then you get to your 3rd down buckets, right? Your 3rd and short, your 3rd and medium, your 3rd long, your 3rd and extra long. Then you possibly get into some red zone high, red zone low, things in that situation. You go to situations, 2-minute, all those type of things. So you kind of want to walk yourself through a normal week of what it would look like in preparation, but you're putting it together with a bunch of weeks all in place. And now you can go out and see what you really did well, what you didn't do that you like, what can you fix, how can you help those situations, what can be helped, what can't be helped, what do you got to overcompensate for. All of those things got to come into place with those things, Tori. So like those are the things that all go into all the stuff that happens. Some of it's done together, some of it's done separate, some is brought back with ideas, some of it's met with tape, some of it's met with different evaluations and different talent. It's a lot of stuff that goes into it, and there's a lot of fun to be able to go do those things, particularly when you're in a situation with everything right in front of you. So like, how do we get better to finish our last 6 games, how we started, and how we want to end this thing and where we want to be?
Yeah, it kind of like, as you're talking about it, it seems like a lot, like drinking water out of a fire hydrant a lot. And I'm curious, as you're having conversations with players, like how do you not overwhelm them to the point of like all of this input and not a lot of output?
You don't talk to the players. You evaluate amongst yourself with the coaches, and when they come back, you make it learnable and likable for those guys to be able to absorb those things, be able to go out there and execute, right? So the better and better that you see those guys go out and play is the more things you can give them, the things that you want to give them and how you want to give it to them.
Thank you.
No problem.
Go to Joe Patrick.
Hey, Raheem, I heard after the game yesterday, you mentioned that the team was kind of out-physicaled, out-efforted in that game. How much of a concern is that for you at this point in the season for a team that, has championship aspirations?
Not necessarily when you say at this point of the season, Joe, like it sounded like in the 11th game of the season, us not having our bye up until now, I knew it was going to be difficult, right? It was a challenge presented to our football team that we had to provide more physicality, more effort, because I know what we're fighting through. Ryan Marinelli said best, you got to learn how to love to be miserable. And yesterday we did not learn that lesson, we were not engaged in being miserable, right? We were hurt. We played hurt. We got out physical and we got out efforted, and we lost the football game because of those things. When it comes to us grading those things in those areas, we didn't have our best day in those areas. And that's what I meant by that. It wasn't necessarily where we're going, what we can do or how we can do it. It was more about yesterday, right? The mentality that needed to be taken to that game was that we were going to be more physical and play with more effort. And I cannot say that when you come back and look at the tape or going through yesterday.
And then just to follow up on that, what is your message to the team coming off of that? How do you get them to bounce back to kind of give that what you want to see from them physically going in, coming back from the bye?
I gave him a couple different messages. Yesterday I talked to him in the locker room right after the game. I talked about you win and you lose games both together. Right. And then today you talked about we didn't have our competitive greatness going at all. Right. We had nobody to overcompensate some of the things that we're talking about, whether it's the stat thing from Mark or whether it's the physical and the effort that you need to overcompensate to get those things done that you want to get done. And from an organizational standpoint, what do we all need to do to get in place to find out how we find a way to get exactly where we want to go? And I know we can do those things because I got a lot of confidence in the people here. I got a lot of confidence in the people on our football team. I got a lot of confidence in the people that's helping us do it.
Go to D-Let for his follow-up.
How does D-Let get a follow-up?
Put it in the chat.
He can't even get
Coach. Well, thanks for the follow-up that Coach don't want me to have. Peace out to the journalism guys.
Journalism guys.
But yeah, Coach, offensively, how do you all try to put that back together too, where the run is complementing the pass, everything looked a little just disjointed a little bit yesterday.
Yeah, D-Led, it's kind of hard to say, where you start yesterday. I mean, yesterday you can take a grenade and just throw it on the whole game, right? And just kind of wipe that away. Really, to be honest with you, we didn't play well in any phase of the game. We didn't play well in a whole lot of aspects of the game. And you got to kind of reset and start over from the beginning, what you got going on, right? We had a lot of good success on offense that we can build on, that we know we can build on. We had about 3 games where I think I'll come on here and said our quarterback might have played his best game at a different time throughout this year. And how do we find a way for our quarterback, first and foremost, to play his best games moving forward and going out throughout the rest of the process? How do we find a way to go out there and figure out, to make people have to think about who's going to be hot, whether it's Bijan, whether it's Drake, whether it's Mooney, and all those different ways. And then getting back up front, where we lost the game yesterday up front, we got to get back to playing the style of play that we want to play, whether it be pass rush, or whether it be stopping the pass rush, or whether it be coming off the ball in the run game. And yesterday we did not win the up front battle. And that's near and dear to your heart, as I know. We did not win that battle led yesterday. So this is pretty cool to talk to you. It's like sitting on the couch giving you my therapy of the day. Thanks, Led. Thanks, Led, for that.
Thanks, Coach.
Go to Joe for his follow-up.
Yeah, Raheem, I mean, this is a tough one, but when you talk about having issues structurally and schematically, would changing some of the coaching responsibilities over the bye week, is that something that you would evaluate and potentially implement coming back from the bye?
Joe, you always evaluate everything that you do every single day. So it wouldn't just be necessarily over the bye. We do this on a week-to-week basis on what's going on, who's doing what, how we want to do these things, what's the best way to get our messages across to people and do all the different things that we want to do. So everything's always going to be up for discussion, up for how we do things better. So we're never ever going to stay stagnant and tell you that it's one size fit all for anything. But everything's always going to be evaluated, Joe. There's no major things going on. I got no breaking news for you that anybody's doing anything that way. But for the most part, when you go back, you evaluate it, you find ways to help, you find ways to get better. I think the most important part is being helpful as opposed to being like you mentioned, hate to say it, but like negative. You just go out there and you try to do the best you can do to go out there and win football games. And that's all we can do.
Close it up with Mark Zeno.
Coach, you said out-efforted. When I hear that, the only thing I'm sure you tell your players, the only thing you can't control is your effort.
No doubt.
Does that make you mad that they didn't? Are you saying not that they didn't give enough effort, but when you realize it's happening, it feels like it's an unacceptable result for your team, to be out-efforted in the game.
Mark, you should be a coach. You well said. When you get out-efforted in the game, it's definitely a reflection on me. And that's the stuff that I want to be able to be clearly and transparent about when you tell your guys. So what does an out effort look like? When a guy throws a screen pass and they were scoring a screen pass, because you can't catch them on a turn and run opportunity and knock the ball out or get them on the ground to give you more snaps to defend, right? Getting out efforted, whatever the case may be. When you talk about up front, when a guy's out effort, you get into the ball before you can actually stop them, before you throw that last block to spring us loose or do whatever it takes. The same thing when you're straining as long as you can in a punt pro or a punt return, whatever the case may be. But we got out effort yesterday, and I got to be honest. I got to tell you the truth, and I got to tell our team the truth that that's what happened yesterday. And it's definitely something that makes coaches furious, but you still got to be honest, and you still got to be able to admit those things to be able to fix them, right? You got to identify problems before you can go fix them.
Were you mad yesterday? Are you still mad today?
Mad is a strong statement. It's more or less disappointed, and it's something that you want to do more for your guys and for your people, and they can do it. They have the ability to do it. That's what gives me a nice, calm soul today. If that makes sense, Martin.